Hello, Mrs. Bryant here. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of one of the programs I'm going to be using to deliver most of my lessons this year. It's a Chrome extension called Pear Deck, and basically what Pear Deck does is it creates interactive experiences when students are learning through Google Slides. So most of my lessons have already been presented in Google Slides from years past, and right now I can use Pear Deck to make these same slideshows more interactive, where students are able to answer questions and give responses throughout the presentation. So I'm going to show you an example of one of these slideshows. We're going to use an 8th grade lesson from chapter 1. It's lesson 1, types of stages. So students will be given a link to open up, and basically this link will take them directly to the Pear Deck format of the slideshow. So again, Pear Deck makes it more interactive, so they will actually begin answering a simple question. So we're going to go with one of the smiley faces here, and then that will then transfer into what the slideshow presentation is. So if you look on the bottom right corner, there's going to be an icon that has headphones. So all of my slides will have audio included with them. And basically the audio is just a little bit of information that I would typically give in person in class, more like lecture notes. So for those of you who are learning remotely because you're on opposite cohort days, or if you are fully remote, these are excellent lecture notes that you will be able to listen to as you're going through the slides. And again, each slide usually has audio included in it. And you'll see this icon at the top right for a little clue as to whether or not that slide has audio attached to it. So then you would click that headphone set, a sound bar would open up, and then of course, as you progress through the slideshow, you would then click the play button so that way you can hear the audio for that slide. So moving on into the slideshow, I break down my lesson into 3 separate parts. So there's a pre-production, the lesson itself, which is considered the production, and then the post-production activity. So almost think of it as like the do now, the lesson, and the exit ticket. So the pre-production is usually a warm-up question, and then the students will have a response to then give either by typing in their answer, or they would have a multiple choice question, or maybe they will have a true and false where they have to take a little icon and drag it to the answer that they want to submit. Now, because it's interactive, I'm able to see what the students' responses are right away because it is a shared link that I'm giving them. So it's almost like a shared document. So I'm able to see whether they are responding or if they're just skipping through it. As you continue through the slideshow, some of the slides are simply pictures with some audio attached to it. Others are a little more detail oriented, where it gives actual definitions, especially if we're covering specific terminology. This is one of the examples of the drag the icon slide. So in this particular example, we have a green circle and a yellow star. So the students were asked to place the star over the stage and place the circle over the house, because they're learning the difference between the performance space and, of course, where the audience sits. So that's an example of an interactive slide. As they again progress through the slideshow, they're going to be seeing different diagrams, and I'm also able to include YouTube videos. So definitely sound is important to have with their Chromebook. If they have audio headphones, or if they just have the regular speaker, they definitely want to be able to hear these added YouTube clips. Again, interactive slide where they have to answer a question by dragging an icon. But then, of course, as the slideshow progresses and we get closer to the end, it'll say the number of slide that you are soon approaching the end. And then this is considered the post-production exit ticket. So again, they would have to type their answer here to the right, and these answers automatically get sent to me as their response. So if your child is just simply clicking through the slides and not responding to it, they're not going to get credit for completing the slideshow. As far as my grading policy, they're basically going to get 1 point deducted for each interactive slide that they're not completing. So of course, depending on the length of the slideshow, you could have anywhere up to maybe 5 or 10 different slides where they have to make a response. And again, it could be as easy as dragging an icon, answering a true and false question, or giving a short answer response such as this one. So if they're skipping over it and they're losing out points, the most points they can earn per day for these assignments is 10 points. So if you're already missing 5 slides, you're only getting half credit for that day's work. So please make sure that they are going through the slideshows one at a time. They're stopping at the interactive portions, and they're really taking their time to give these appropriate responses. Again, I'm able to give comments, and these slideshows will be up and available in Google Classroom, so students can always go back and review, and I encourage them to do that. And even though we may do these slideshows together in class, it's always a good thing for them to go back to then review them in order to master the new vocabulary and any of the new terminology and material that we cover, so that way they're better prepared for their assessments. These daily activities are considered classwork, whether they're doing it in person in class or at home, and we'll be counting it for 50% of their overall grade in the practice category. The other half of the category will be assessments, and again, these would be tests and quizzes that they would take at the completion of a smaller lesson or maybe the entire chapter that we're covering. So again, Pear Deck, great interactive tool. I'll be using it a lot. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to contact me via email, or students can definitely send me a comment through Google Classroom. I hope this helps. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.